Okay, we're ready, Mr. Quinn.
Okay, thank you. I'd like to call this meeting to order. May we have roll call, please, Mr. Crotty?
Sure. Mr. Accomando,
Present.
Ms. Borelli,
Present.
Ms. Ainello,
Present.
Mr. Laurentino,
Present.
Ms. Mahoney,
Here.
Mr. Quinn,
Here.
Ms. Robinson,
Here.
Ms. Roloff,
Here.
Ms. Zattarelli.
Here.
Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag
of the
of the
United
United
States
States of America and to the republic for which
which
it
stands
stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We're getting pretty good at that,
It's hard keeping the timing correct this way.
but it's getting better.
Yes, it is. Adequate notice of this meeting has been sent to all members of the Board of Education and to the Bergen Record in accordance with the provisions of the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, 1975. At this time, please be advised that all Zoom devices should be turned to mute.
Awesome. Okay.
At this time, may we please have the superintendent's report?
Good evening, everybody. I'd like to thank you all for coming tonight. I would like to just celebrate a few opening of school successes. So as a district, we have survived 2 online orientation days, 4 blue and gold rotation days, 1 virtual synchronous learning day. And that was today. And admin, staff, students, and teachers are really doing an amazing job. We're so impressed by what we are seeing. Everybody is coming in fully masked, following the signs in the hallways, keeping themselves socially distanced and hands cleaned. And if we can keep everyone healthy, we'll be in a really good place. I invite all of you to visit our All Things COVID-19 Communications website. And if you go to the regular website, which is sbpsnj.org, and you look under district shortcuts, it is the first item under district shortcuts. And everything related to COVID is there on that site, including our plan, a letter from the county office, and all things COVID related. And the county did send us a letter verifying that our reopening plan has met all of the requirements of the NJ DOE checklist, and that letter and the checklist are on the website. And I just would like to, I'll have a longer report on Wednesday, but I want to remind everyone in the public that lunch is free and reduced lunches are being served, and that even students who are on reduced lunch or anybody else who is in need can take advantage of a free lunch. It's being offered at all of our schools. And if you are present on a day, you can pick up a grab and go lunch. And if you're not present because it's your off day or because you are a purely remote student, then you can pick up breakfast and lunch at the concession stand at the high school. And Ray, please correct me if I'm wrong. I think the time is 8:30 to 10.
Yes, correct.
8:30 to 10 at the concession stand. For those of you who are not familiar with the high school property, it's the yellow hut at the back of the parking lot. You can actually enter from the back there. I think that's Liberty. Is that Liberty?
Mhm.
Okay, you can enter
Liberty.
into Liberty Street if you'd like. And so the state has made arrangements for everybody to get free breakfast and or lunch who needs it. So you don't even have to be part of the program. And
You know, if I may, just it was
Yeah.
9 to 10:30. We increased the start time to 8:30 to 10:30. So I just want to state that. And you know, there was a few more lunches picked up today, which was great to see. And We will, as it goes now, and we see the participation, we might make some adjustments in there, but we have, when we were doing it in springtime, there was no students in the building. There was no traffic in the parking lot. It's a little different now with school started, so, but we'll try to make adjustments. Mr. Deptula and I were just trying to think of different things and how to get the students to meals, but we'll take it day by day.
And so what I have heard is that some students who, let's say, are on free lunch don't want to walk into the cafeteria to pick up their lunch. They feel that it, it's uncomfortable for them when other students aren't getting lunch. But anybody can buy lunch as well. So it's not only free and reduced lunch students who can pick up lunch, and they could. We have some students who are. Ray, what about the picking up multiple meals on off days? Can they do that?
Yes, in fact, we did some today too.
So if it's let's say it's their remote day, if they're blue and gold and it's their remote day, they could pick up then on those days instead of?
They could do it then. They could also order, with elementary schools, you can order in the classroom. You could order, 2 meals and they'll have that packaged up and you could take them home for, that day and the next day when that child is remote, or you could pick them up at the school anyway. So we'll work with, any combination right now.
Okay. So I'll be sending out a parent letter this month just to remind everybody of all of these things and to celebrate the good things that are happening. But admin staff, students, teachers are doing an amazing job. For those of you who have not already received communication from your principals, I believe most people have, introducing our SLEO 3 officers who are now housed in 4 out of our 5 schools. We're still working on school number 5. There were few changes along the way, but we think we're in a good spot right now. So at Smith, we have Officer Anthony Scalcione. I've met all of these gentlemen, by the way. I think they're perfect. They're perfect fits for their schools, and they have long resumes of a lot of success, very high-ranking officers before their retirements, all of them. Work with children in different capacities, very interested in being part of a school environment and being there to protect the faculty and the kids. They all seem great to me. So I'm really excited about them, and all the principals love their officers. So at Smith, we have Officer Anthony Scalcione. At Long, Officer Joseph Quattrone, who ironically, his mother taught in Long School. Franklin School, we have Officer Alteric Dunson. At the middle and high school, we now have Officer Matt Murphy, who likes to go by Murph. And Mr. Fontana is assisting us with school security at Washington right now until we hire someone. So we're still in that process. And you'll see on Wednesday night, we have a memorandum of agreement with the township, which is on Wednesday's agenda for approval. The township is already approved and signed for the SLEO 3s. So we're in a good spot, and I look forward to a full report for you on Wednesday evening.
Thank you very much. We'll now go to the business administrators report. Mr. Crotty.
Thank you, Mr. Quinn. I was going to speak about the lunch, but thank you, Danielle.
Sorry.
That's all right. On the board meeting agenda tonight, there was a second bill list. I think it's linked up now for the board members. I'll double check that, but there should be 2 series of check numbers. So that'll cover all the checks for September that we're going to issue. I'm working with the treasurer on the reports. I should have them tomorrow for you to approve on Wednesday. And I'm looking at anything else here. If anybody has any questions on any items. Otherwise, that's all I had to report for now. I know I've been speaking about a lot of the support staff and how we got the schools ready, and everybody did a great job. But, I've been around to a few buildings now and seeing everybody's, complying, like Danielle said before, with the masks and all the teachers are working really hard. Everybody's doing a great job, and everything's so successful right now, and I hope it stays that way. And that concludes my report.
Thank you very much, Mr. Crotty. We'll now go to the board action items. And that is B93 and B94. Do we have any questions or comments on any of that? Okay, seeing none. I just have a quick one. I could not get to the Class 3 Special Law Enforcement Officer Agreement on the web somehow. I don't know if it's exactly the same one I had the hard copy of, but I could not access that online.
It's not, I'm looking here, it needs an exhibit number. The letter's missing and it's not linked up. So we'll have that linked up by tomorrow.
Good, thank you. I'm assuming it's basically the same. I just wasn't sure if there had been changes.
No, I think it's the same as the last one you received.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else before we move on? Yes,
I have a
Sophia?
question. I have a question, but it's not on this. It's back to the lunch program. That's for everybody, correct? Whether you're a free or reduced or not?
Yeah.
Everybody
Right,
gets
why
a-
don't you explain?
the state has-
Only because you said that people are buying lunch, you could buy lunch, and I'm confused. It's either are they buying lunch or they're getting lunch?
No, it's all, so the state has a program now. I don't know why they do it this way, but right now it's all students that want request a meal are free.
Oh.
Okay,
Now the food service department will submit the different criteria. We get reimbursed for these meals, but that's what the program they want to run now. So that's the way we're doing it. I think it helps. Yeah, I'm trying to get a rational way that the state did this was probably like Ms. Shelley was saying about the students not going to the cafeteria to pick up the meal. If more students are going, maybe the more the free and reduced students will go pick up the meal. I don't know if that's their angle for it, but whatever it is, we opened it up. There were more students picking up meals today, and we hope that it continues.
And it could also just be that it's an attempt to help support families and students since, unemployment has sort of gone by the wayside at this point. The COVID unemployment, we're waiting for more money to be, to be allocated to that. And I think they're just trying to make sure that kids eat. So maybe you don't meet the criteria, but we want to make sure that everybody's eating. And so, it's kind of hard to focus on school when you're hungry. So we'll make sure that every parent knows that.
And I know we spread the word around last spring, but we'll do that again now, that at any time, if a family has a change in financial structure, that they can go on to, through our Genesis parent portal and submit a meal application at any time. It's not just to be in the school year, it's at any time that changes. So if you do hear of a family that's in need, please try to remind them to go do that. We'll try to remind them during the year, but if anybody knows anybody, please tell them to do that.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else before we move on? Okay, we'll go to education and curriculum. We have E92 and E93. Does anybody have any questions or comments regarding either of those? Seeing none, we'll move on. Finance, budget, and facilities. We have F338 through F345. Does anybody have any questions on those items for discussion?
On 343, I need to add at the end of the reduction of special education tuition, just the budget account number. I see that's not there. So I'll have that for tomorrow.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions or concerns? Then we'll move on to policy. We have one policy up for the first reading, and that's P1648.03, and it's the Restart and Recover Plan for full-time instruction. Does anybody have any questions or comments concerning that policy?
Could I give you some background on this?
You sure may.
Okay, so this is a policy that every school district has to adopt. It's exactly what it is. It's a policy to, amend our school day, to amend everything, to follow the plan, essentially. So you can all read it. It's a required policy, and we have to we have to do this. So you can take a look at it. If you have any questions between now and Wednesday, by all means, reach out to me. I didn't think it required a meeting because every district in New Jersey is essentially adopting it, as per the guidance of the governor.
And it's pretty straightforward in stating such within the policy.
Right.
Anyone have any questions concerning that? Then we'll move on. Negotiations we'll cover in closed, and then it will be part of the agenda on Wednesday in open. Personnel, we will discuss in closed, and again, it'll be part of Wednesday's meeting in open. So now we'll go to committee reports. I'm not sure anybody has any, but does anybody have a committee report?
Mr. Quinn, I'm gonna wait till Wednesday to share my middle school, high school PTO.
Okay. We'll do that for all of them at this point then. Is there any correspondence for this evening?
There's none.
Any old business? New business? Okay, then may I have a motion to open the meeting for public comment?
Motion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, again, if you click on the participants, I believe it is, the center button, you'll see a little hand for raising your hand if you would like to make a comment. While everybody figures that out, let me read this wonderful statement. Residents are requested to state their names, addresses, and subject matter. In the event it appears the public comment portion of the meeting may exceed 45 minutes, the presiding officer may limit each statement made by a participant to 5 minutes duration. Issues raised by members of the public may or may not be responded to by the board. All comments will be considered and a response will be forthcoming if and when appropriate. The board asks that members of the public be courteous and mindful of the rights of other individuals when speaking. Specifically, comments regarding students and employees of the board are discouraged and will not be responded to by the board. Students and employees have specific legal rights afforded by the laws of New Jersey. The board bears no responsibility, nor will it be liable for any comments made by members of the public. Members of the public should consider their comments in light of the legal rights of those affected or identified in their comments and be aware that they are legally responsible and liable for their comments. Okay, do we have anybody that would like to make a comment?
I don't see any hands raised at this moment.
Going once, going twice. Seeing none, may I have a motion to close the meeting for public comment?
Motion.
Do you have a second?
Second. Second.
Thank you, Sylvia. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, the meeting is closed to the public. May we now have a motion to recess to close executive session, to discuss personnel, contract negotiation, and matters covered by the attorney-client privilege for NJSA 10-4-6, the Open Public Meetings Act. The subject matter discussed may be disclosed to the public if and when the need for confidentiality no longer exists. Action will not be taken when the board reconvenes in open session. We actually will be adjourning. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor? Any opposed? Okay, on that note, the next board meeting is this coming Wednesday at 7 p.m. May we have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So moved. Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, the meeting is adjourned and we will go into closed session on the link that Danielle sent to us right before the meeting. Thank you all for coming.
Good night.